It's the end of the year. Wow, 2025 has absolutely flown by. And of course, no one has ever done this before. It is an awards show, an awards full circle special. And why does this award show matter? Because it's my awards, the DC Awards 2025, all things music related.
The Full Circle. With DC.
Thank you so much to everyone listening in. It is 2025. It is the end of the year. And I thought I would do something special. I thought I would do the DC Awards 2025. There were so many awards. There were so many award shows out there celebrating music, celebrating so many things. I thought, hey, let's join it. Let's join it because my awards are way, way more important than anyone else's awards. It is factual. My awards are factual, unlike all those other awards which are opinionated. Now I'm only taking the mic off if anyone thinks that I'm being serious. I just thought let's have a bit of fun and let's celebrate 2025. So there's lots of categories and just lots of thoughts and lots of discussion and just celebrating 2025 because I want to celebrate 2025. 2025 for me is was a very special year for so many reasons, and a very special year in music, a very special year in general. Thank you so much to everyone that listens to this show, whether it's the first show, whether it's you've started today, whether it was the Christmas special last week that somehow enticed you. But thank you so much. On the show, all the awards, album of the year, artist of the year, song of the year, so many awards. We've also got an old school Abid's Words of Wisdom. I've managed to dig through the archives and nearly a decade ago, Abid gave some words of wisdom and I thought I would share that because I can't always ask him for some words of wisdom because he's going to be wisdomed out. As much as ridiculous as that is to say, that is always a possibility. And of course, we're going to do the Full Circle. Now, for those of you that don't know what the Full Circle is or why a music-themed show is called the Full Circle, which sounds so generic, I think the name is absolutely spot on. Songs are linked with one another, with the last song linking back to the first song, hence completing the Full Circle. And this one's a bit of a special one because I've chosen 5 songs from musicians that have been on the podcast and have chosen their songs for the Full Circle. So I have chosen 5 songs from 5 different musicians that have been on the podcast, which I absolutely love as well. I love these songs, whether they've introduced me to the songs or whether I knew the song to begin with. Let's begin with the Full Circle. Let's begin with the first song choice, which is Million Dead, Living the Dream. Now, this was Frank Turner's song choice. Million Dead were a band that started in the 2000s and then they disbanded. And then they came back earlier this year in 2025 for some reunion shows. I hadn't listened to Million Dead before Frank Turner had spoken about them. And I checked out Living the Dream and I thought, wow, this is a really good song. Then we heard so many other songs and I was like, wow, they're actually pretty good. So we ended up getting tickets. We ended up getting tickets to see them at the Electric Ballroom and they were absolutely incredible. That was such a fun show. It was their last show, so it was a bit bittersweet. It was a bit emotional. Frank Turner was quite upset and talking about how their drummer is retiring from music and him and his drummer have been best friends since I think the age of 10, 11. Wow. What a friendship. Million Dead, Living the Dream, the first song on the Full Circle. And check out the show I did with Frank Turner as well if you get the chance. He was the first musician to give me a chance because this show was, before this, just basically me talking or friends talking or just having a bit of a laugh. But I've incorporated musicians on the podcast and I think it's definitely been a welcome addition. I think Frank Turner being the first musician on and giving me a chance and he was great. So please check out that episode. I also just want to add, we're in this sort of weird period, aren't we? We're in that sort of limbo period where we're in between Christmas and New Year. We've just finished Christmas and here we are, not close to the new year, but not finished 2025 just yet. So we're sort of in that period. Are you working during this period or do you have time off? How was your Christmas? Let me know. And any plans for the new year? Have you got any New Year's resolutions? Some do, some don't believe in that. Some say start them. Don't wait till January 1st. Just start them today. So if you're hearing the show before January 1st and you've got New Year's resolutions, just start them. Why does it matter? Why wait a few days? But I get it. There's a good starting point, and sometimes it's easier to just do that. But I'm just saying, sometimes it's best to just go with the flow and just go for it right away. Let's start with the first category. Now, I must admit, I'm not an award show expert. There are so many people that do award shows, do their own categories, and I haven't done many categories, and we'll see how it goes. The DC Award 2025, because clearly my awards matter more than anyone else's, and I'm going to make that very clear every time. And you can choose to believe it or you can choose not to believe it. That's just your decision. But the DC Awards are the most important award show of 2025. Granted, I've had no winners come and say thank you or say anything, but it is what it is. In fact, it's better that way. It's my awards. The first award is Artist of the Year. My thought process on this are artists that have had a bigger year than usual or have just stood out for whatever reason. I'm going to give you the standouts that didn't get Artist of the Year, and then I'll give you the Artist of the Year. So I think some standouts from 2025 include Youngblood. I know there's some people that find him annoying, and I think there's some people that absolutely love him, and I think he's great. And I think him coming out and doing changes with Ozzy really propelled him and really elevated him. He was already on a upward trajectory with what he does for mental health, with his own festival. So I think he does, he's already doing a lot, and he makes good music. He makes really, really good music. He released an album with Aerosmith, again, really good. Got Aerosmith out of retirement, because I thought they'd retired. So that was cool. And that was cool to see Aerosmith at Back to the Beginning as well. So that was a massive standout. Linkin Park headlining Wembley Stadium for the first time. Wow. 2025. Who would have thought Linkin Park were headlining Wembley Stadium? And obviously they're doing Download Festival next year. The first female fronted singer to be headlining Download Festival, which in my opinion, I'm surprised it's taken so long. But it's something that should really be, really be celebrated. Really should be celebrated. So really exciting stuff. And for them to do Wembley Stadium for the first time and sell it out, incredible. And another standout, Sleep Token getting a top 10 single, Caramel. I mean, you do not get many rock bands, whatever genre you want to call them, metal, rock, whatever, but you do not get many bands getting top 10 singles like this. Incredible for them to have gotten a top 10 single this year on the UK singles chart with Caramel. But for me, Artist of the Year goes to Bring Me the Horizon for headlining Reading and Leeds. What an achievement, and completely deserved. Now I'm going to let in on something that I haven't shared on here before. I was never the biggest fan of Bring Me the Horizon to begin with. I just wasn't into them. I must admit, I wasn't sure how I felt about Ollie Sykes. And then they released Sempiternal, and that was definitely a change. I think the addition of Jordan Fish, I know it sounds like things unfortunately broken down between Jordan Fish and some of the other band members. But Jordan Fish, I think, and I'm being completely honest and candid here, I think Jordan Fish is the big reason why they have elevated. Obviously, the band themselves have worked hard, but I think Jordan Fish just gave them the tools to get them to where they are. And then they released That's the Spirit, which was just, oh my goodness, I heard that from start to finish and I was like, whoa, this is incredible. Absolutely incredible. And then Ammo, which was just so eclectic, definitely divided opinion. I think if you were into their older, heavier sound, it certainly went away from that. And then they brought it back in with Post Survival, which was just superb. They got the balance absolutely spot on. Parasite Eve, what a tune that is. Kingslayer, an absolute banger. And they've just gone forward from there. And to be headlining Reading and Leeds, wow. And we saw them at Leeds and they were incredible. What a show. Absolutely worthy of headlining Reading and Leeds. They've done Download, they've done Reading and Leeds. Will they be doing Glastonbury at some point? I think they're ready for that. I think they can do that. Let's see if they want to do that though. Artist of the Year, Bring Me the Horizon. And let me know who your Artist of the Year would be. Do you agree with my Artist of the Year, or do you have a different Artist of the Year? Now, all the other standouts I said have all got potentials to be Artist of the Year. This is all a personal opinion, but of course, because it's the DC Awards, it's factual. But yes, Artist of the Year, Bring Me the Horizon. So now I want to think about one for the future. And actually, I'm cheating a little bit because it's two for the future. And there's two bands I wanna give a shout out to. So I want to give a shout out to House and Home. Boom, 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 boom. They released an album called I Won't Look For You. An absolutely incredible album. I guess the genre's like alternative rock, pop punk, emo, that sort of vibe. Really fun album. Really good album. Very consistent. And I really like that. And here's a Full Circle exclusive. I have got the lead singer, Pat Williams, on an episode in January 2025. We have recorded it and it will be ready to be released in January 2025. And he is a top guy, very open, very honest. I really enjoyed it. I wish them all the best. And I'm really, really wanting them to come to the UK and get a UK tour going because they deserve it. And I will really, really look forward to them. I'll be one of the first people getting a ticket. So check out House and Home if you can, because they are really, really good, really fun. And another band who I really want to give a shout out to are called Like We Are. They released an album in December 2025 called Your Diary. They're an Austrian, they describe themselves as modern core. That is an incredible album. Half a God is an absolute tune, and I would completely recommend you guys to check it out. You know, I don't know if they listen to this, and I'd love to get them on the show. My only thing I would say is that releasing an album in December, it's so rubbish. Not obviously them releasing it in December was their decision, it's a creative decision. But unfortunately, I just feel like, December releases, especially for albums, firstly, it's during Christmas time. So people are going to be listening to Christmas songs. And the other issue is that it's not going to be on like Wrapped or the Apple Replay or whatever they are, the YouTube one. So, you know, it's one of those where it's a bit unfortunate to have released it during then. But hey, please try and check it out if you can. Make it a listen in January 2026. So then it puts it on, so it gets recognized on Spotify or all the music streaming services, because they deserve it. They really do. Your Diary, what an album. And Like We Are, a really, really solid band. So check them out. Let's move on to the second song. So the second song I've chosen is 100th, Dark Side. This was Dan Winter Bates from Bury Tomorrow's song choice, one of his song choices. And I thought it was a really, really good song. I do listen to the songs that the artists choose especially if I don't know. I know the songs and I don't need to, but I didn't know this song. Yeah, it was catchy, really catchy, almost like dance rock. Like, it was just such a catchy song. So yeah, I thought that was a really solid choice. I'd love to get them on the show. That'd be fun. Sort of almost like a full circle moment. Hey, Dan Winter Bates recommended you guys and I loved your music and I'd love to have you on the show. Let's see if we can make it happen. 100th, Dark Side, the second song on the Full Circle. Next category is Gig of the Year. Now, these are gigs that I've been to. They're not gigs that other people have been to or been reviewed. So many gigs. You know, I want to give some standouts. I want to give some shout outs to the standouts. Parkway Drive at Wembley Arena. Obviously, what a show that was. Brimley Horizon, their headline show at Reading and Leeds. That was an incredible show. Soft Play, saw them twice. Shoreditch and the Adidas store. That was fun. So much energy. So fun. Back to the beginning. The whole spectacle. And literally happening. It's almost like Ozzy stayed alive for that show. And he put all his energy out for it. And he poured out his heart and soul. Incredible. What an incredible show that was. And there's so many other gigs that I haven't even mentioned. Gorillaz, Will Smith, Tiny Temper. Just wanted to mention some ones that I probably don't talk about as much on this show. But for me, the gig of the year, 21 Pilots at the O2 Arena. Blown away. The production was incredible. Absolutely incredible. I was truly blown away by it. Absolutely loved it. They absolutely smashed out the park. They played the absolute bangers. The only one I wish they played, which they didn't, was Lane Boy. Clancy, because it was a Clancy tour. Just an incredible album Clancy was. It was so perfect. And there were so many tricks that they did. It just truly incredible. Absolutely incredible. Gig of the year, 21 Pilots at the O2 Arena. What's your gig of the year and why? What made it special for you? What made, because sometimes it's really hard to sort of describe it and explain it. It's just being there, isn't it? It's just that feeling you get when you hear that song. To me, I still remember this when Red Hot Chili Peppers performed at the Olympic Park with John Frusciante. It was one of their first shows back in the UK. And that guitar sound, the goosebumps I felt was just incredible. And that can never be recreated. just thinking about it now almost gives me goosebumps. Like, it was just so incredible. Yeah, let me know what gigs have stood out for you this year, and let me know if you've had that feeling where there's goosebumps just come out. I think 21 Pilots gave me that as well. Gig of the year, 21 Pilots at the O2 Arena. Third song on the full circle, Enter Shikari, The Great Unknown. Now, this was Jay Hurley of Hacktivist's song choice. Jay Hurley, incredible guest. Loved Hacktivist, love Hacktivist. Their new stuff has been so good. He absolutely smashed it apart with his full circle song choices. In fact, just check out his song choices, because I think he had like Nipsey Hussle. He had so many great songs. I think he had Eminem. It was just incredible song choices. And Enter Shikari, The Great Unknown, is an absolute banger of a song. An absolute banger. Taken from Nothing Is True But Everything Is Possible. It is, and that is such a great album. And yeah, The Great Unknown is such a banging start to the album as well. So good. And do check out, and it was an honour to have Jay Hurley on. An absolute honour. A super nice guy, and genuinely someone I'd call a friend. Like, he's just such a nice guy. And I really hope to meet him in person. I really hope to meet him in person. It'll be an absolute honour. Third song, Enter Shikari, The Great Unknown. Next one is Album of the Year. There have been a lot of great albums in 2025. 21 Pilots, Breach. What an album that was. I've already mentioned the Like We Are and House and Home albums. A bit of a left field album, The Low Files by Bring Me the Horizon. They were fun. Like, they were just chill. I love the Kingslayer one. Like, if you're just sort of, needing a bit of downtime, just doing some admin or whatever, just put it on. It's just so calm and so chill. It's a really good album. Another one that I want to give a shout out to, which was released earlier in the year, for Covey. My God Has Got a Gun. So personal, so emotive. Absolutely incredible. And here's another full circle exclusive. And I think it's going to be next week. The first show of 2026 is going to be with Janine Shilstone of The Covey. It was an absolute honour to have her on the full circle. Such a great chat. Loved hearing her full circle choices. So personal. She was great. An absolute honour to have her on the show. And do get a chance to check them out when you can, because they are going on tour from the end of January to early February. Go check them out. They are so fun live. The energy is unreal. And they just enjoy it. They just enjoy it. It's so palpable. So go check them out, and check out Janine Shilstone on the full circle, and check out that album. My God Has Got a Gun. That is a top album. But for me, my album of the year, and it was only because it just was completely left field and I had no expectations, and I hadn't even heard of the band until a week before I saw them live, or 2 weeks before I saw them live, was called One OK Rock. Detox. Pure fluke. Like, I cannot explain how fluky this was. I was at home with my family, and I was with my sister, and I just said, hey, let's listen to some songs that Jordan Fish produced. So we just listened to a few. And then there was one by a band called One OK Rock. I was like, okay, I've not really heard of them, but let's check it out. There was a song that he produced called Make It Out Alive. I was like, whoa, this is so good. What a tune. Like, it was just so catchy. So then I was like, okay, they've released an album this year, Detox, let's check it out. So I played it, and Nasty was the first song. It was just, so good. And then straight on to Dystopia, which is such a banging song, and then Tropical Therapy. And then it just was just hit after hit. Oh, my goodness. And then we saw they were performing live at the O2, and there were still tickets available. We were like, we're going. So me, my sister, and Abby checked out One OK Rock in October this year, 2025. And they blew it out the park. And supporting them were a band called Pale Dusk, who were really fun as well. They were high energy, a bit all over the place, but just fun. That album is a truly special album. One OK Rock, Detox. And it's one of those things where it's very rare for me, my sister, Abby, all of us to have really enjoyed it. You know, we overlap and we've been, but it was just, it was so fun. And a really incredible show. Loved it and loved that album and I really would advise you to check it out. Kerrang very harshly gave it like 1 star or 2 star. Obviously, Kerrang's reviews are way more important than mine. And I'm not even saying that in a like sarcastic way. They are. Like they have got music journalism and etc. But the only thing I would say is music is opinionated. It doesn't matter if just because I like something or don't like something, it doesn't mean you should or shouldn't like something, or you will or won't like something. We all have different tastes in music. Hell, I even put a video recently about Frank Turner talking about how he doesn't like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And it's got a lot of conversation. Do you know what I mean? A lot of conversation. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you like them or not. But I love them. I absolutely love them. I've got friends who love Red Hot Chili Peppers and I've got friends who don't. It is what it is. This is a bit of an aside. I think just remember, just because someone doesn't like bands you like doesn't mean that you can't get along with them. Like, there are just and there's so many bands that Abby likes that I just not as bothered about. And there's so many bands I like that Abby isn't as like bothered about. It doesn't matter. Actually, having different tastes in music is unique, and it's important. It's important to have that identity, right? But anyway, I've digressed there. I've digressed there a little bit. Album of the year, One OK Rock, Detox. Right, what's the 4th song on the Full Circle? I had Ryan Shuck on. He has worked with so many incredible artists. Obviously, Chester Bennington for Dead by Sunrise. He was in the band Orgy, and he's currently in the band Julian K, who just make incredible, incredible music. A big influence of Julian K and also in Orgy was New Order. And the song Ryan Shuck chose was New Order True Faith, which I do think that's New Order's best song. I know they do Blue Monday, which obviously is probably more popular, but True Faith is a banging song. So the 4th song on the Full Circle is New Order True Faith. And Ryan Shuck, genuinely nice guy, like a lovely guy, all the time in the world. He's done it all in the music industry, but he just also gives back so much to the fans. And I really wanted Julian K from the very start of the Full Circle because I am a massive advocate for them. And I really, really hope they come back to the UK and do a headline show, because I will be the first person buying a ticket. And please do check them out. They are so good. They're like industrial rock with a bit of like dance to it as well. They're so good. So good. So do give them a listen. But anyway, the 4th song on the Full Circle, New Order, True Faith. Right, let's do some old school Abid's words of wisdom. So Abid has given, I wasn't joking when I said that Abid, you probably think, what are you chatting about? Abid genuinely used to give his words of wisdom all the time. The one, I don't always want to bother him with giving us words of wisdom, but I just felt we sort of have to end 2025 with some words of wisdom, don't we? We have to. Abid is just an absolute legend. He just always has words of wisdom. He always has wise words, and it's an honor to call him a friend and to just hear from the wise one. He so generously shares words of wisdom to the Full Circle Nation because that's just who he is. The format is the same. I mean, technically I have heard this before because I would have done it on a previous episode of the Full Circle years ago when it was live on Facebook. But in short, he gives his words of wisdom. I give my response. The Full Circle Nation is wiser and better off. So without further ado, let's hear the words of wisdom from Abid Mushtaq.
Wash your hands after using the toilet.
Let's hear that one more time.
Wash your hands after using the toilet.
Wow, outstanding words of wisdom there from Abid Mushtaq. Now, he's right. Wash your hands after using the toilet, whether you are urinating or, and this is a medical term, so I apologize if you're, having your Cocoa Pops or whatever, or you're defecating. Apologies. But 2 things. People think that after you've urinated, you don't need to wash your hands. Yes, you do. There are some people, when I'm on a public toilet, the amount of people I see just leave after urinating and not washing their hands, I really hope they've got hand gel and putting it on their hands afterwards, because that is nasty, as One OK Rock would say. Wash your hands after going to the toilet is important for hygiene reasons. If you do a number 2 and you do not wash your hands after, people might be eating poo. People might be touching your poo. And I'm saying that, yes, I am saying that very openly because that is disgusting. If you are listening to this and you tell me if you don't wash your hands after doing a number 2, I'm sorry, but that is disgusting. And I don't just mean putting a little bit of water. Soap is really important. Really, really important. It's really, really important to wash your hands after going to the toilet. Abid is so spot on. Abid is absolutely spot on. His words, I mean, even now, and that's the thing about Abid's words of wisdom, that is old school, but it's timeless. His words of wisdom are timeless. Even back then, he was in his early 20s and he was still wise. It's unbelievable. It's actually unbelievable how wise his wisdom. And I cannot wait to hear and share words of wisdom from years to come. What a legend. Please do wash your hands after you go to the toilet legitimately, because it's a bit grim when I see people not do that, and I'm sorry if you're one of those, but please do wash your hands after going to the toilet. I really, really beg of you. Thank you so much, Abid, and I really hope you had a lovely Christmas and have a very, very wise 2026. Right, Song of the Year. Now, the reason why I've chosen Song of the Year for last is because the Song of the Year is going to be the last song on the full circle. Now, I have decided to give a top 5, so I'm going to count back from 5 to 1 for Song of the Year. It's so tough. I've listened to so many songs in 2025 that are incredible. How can you just choose 5 songs of the year? I mean, in all honesty, choosing all these gigs artists, gig of the year, I've already missed out the Don Broco one. Like, it's so ridiculous how many gigs and how many stuff you just miss. Anyway, Song of the Year. I'm trying to objectify it, and because I guess, so many things can sort of lead to like what makes it sound good or not, or what makes it Song of the Year. So for me, this is how I've sort of objectified Song of the Year. Firstly, how it sounded like at the start, how it sounded the first time you heard it. Secondly, repetitive factor. So listening to it, do you still get that same buzz or similar buzz to how you first heard it? Or is it got fatigued by listening to it? Thirdly, the emotions it gives you, how it makes you feel. I think that's really important. And fourthly, how it sounds live. I think that's really important as well. I mean, that's not important, but I think all of that just adds to the emotional aspect. In particular order from 5 to 1. Number 5, Abracadabra by Lady Gaga. I didn't really like Lady Gaga's music when I was younger, and I'm not a big fan of all her music, much of her music, but this song, Abracadabra, I was listening to this again, like quite a bit. I was like, this is a tune, an absolute tune. It's just fun, catchy, dancey, housey. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's just a good song. Number 4, Night Mover, Julian Kay. This song reminded me of how I felt when I heard Kick the Bass for the first time, their first song that I heard of theirs when they released Death to Analog, their first album all those years ago. And I thought, wow, this is so good, so catchy, and just going to absolutely be well received live as well. And yeah, they smashed out the park with that song. Night Mover, Julian Kay. Number 3, City Walls by 21 Pilots. When I put Breach on, the first song is City Walls, and I was like, whoa, because I didn't listen to it. I think it got released as a single just before the album got released. I listened to it and I was like, whoa, this is incredible. What a tune. And it's so catchy. The chorus is so catchy, and then the piano, and then back to the chorus. What a tune. Number 2, a bit of a left field one now. By left field, I mean just the style. The song Even in Arcadia by Sleep Token. A lovely piano piece. I'm not much into slower piano music that much, but that song is an absolute standout on the album, which personally I just thought was a step below their first 3 albums, because their first 3 albums are incredible. Even in Arcadia, just a step below those 3 albums. But that song, Even in Arcadia, the title song, it's so good. And number 1, I have spoken about this song so much this year. And I think it's the third time now it's going to be on a full circle, maybe even the fourth time. I can't remember. I can't remember if we did it for 4 times, but definitely at least 3 times, because it's going to be the third time. It's the last song. Cellophane by Don Broco. I remember it so vividly. Had it on TV, the music video, we put it on TV, and the music video was so good, and the song was so good. And I was just thinking, I think me and Abby just looked at each other and just thought, whoa. And the chorus, and I think we all like different parts of the song as well, because for me, it was the chorus. The chorus is so catchy. It's just such a like new metal heavy song, but also so catchy. Like it really just established, it just managed to just get that early 2000 vibe. Absolute tune, and it has been on repeat so much, and I've not got sick of it. Now, the controversial points. I don't think they're coming on the show anytime soon, so I'm going to say it, but if they do and they listen to this, I'm sorry. It was the first song that was played live, and I don't think it should be the first song. I think it should be later on. I don't know. There was just something about it being the first song that made me think, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. It sounded decent live. It really did, but I think I think because that song is so incredible, I just expected slightly higher, maybe I had slightly higher expectations, and it was fun. It was great, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, they always say don't have expectations, otherwise be prepared for disappointment. So maybe that's what it was, but I don't think that should be the first song that starts the show. I think the first song, Gum Shield is a great way to start a first song, like a show, or Hype Man, because Hype Man sort of gets everything going. But I don't know, Cellophane, yeah, it's so controversial for me to say that, but that is the last song. That is the song of the year, and the last song on the full circle, because it was chosen by Dale Tanner of Ocean Grove. And no, it was not because I told him to choose it, even though he might have said that, but it is an absolute tune. And Dale Tanner of Ocean Grove supported Don Broco. That was a really fun show. Ocean Grove came back to the UK earlier this year to support Thornhill, and they're coming back to the UK next year to support Poppy. Who's got tickets for that? I do. Hopefully I can meet Dale. It'll be an absolute honour to meet him in person. A top guy, a class guy. Love Ocean Grove. Check out that show because he's a fun guy. Really, really enjoyed that. And the last song on the full circle is my song of the year, DC's song of the year, Don Broco, Cellophane. Hence completing the full circle, the final full circle of 2025. Wow. And obviously the links they're all songs chosen by musicians that have guested on the full circle, just in case people are like, what's the link? So that's the links. Just one more thing before we go. My personal life moment of the year. I always ask people, guess what their favourite life moment is not of 2025, but of their whole lives. And I'm just choosing mine for 2025, and it's a big one. Abby and I got engaged earlier this year in Japan. You might have heard the show that we did where we spoke about our time in Japan and about the engagement. It's an absolute honour, and it was an incredible moment, and truly, truly is my favourite life moment. And I cannot wait to carry on the incredible journey I've had so far with my partner. We've been together for over 7 years, over 7.5 years now. And yeah, absolutely incredible to have gotten engaged this year and carry on the journey and progress the journey. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. If it wasn't for Abby, I would not be doing the full circle. It would not be how it is now. It would not have been, I could not bring it back like this. I could not have done this. I could not have pushed myself to do this. I think Abby really has just anchored me and really allowed me to sort of allow this side of me to come out again for the full circle, for the podcast. And she's been an incredible guest on the show as well. She's come on, oh my goodness, is it 4 times? No. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. So she came on the second show. Sorry, Abby. She came on the second show, and then she came again. We made the full circle on the fly, and then we did a one where it was like features, and then we did the Japan one. So 4 times. I mean, fair play to her. Thank you so much. And I'm sure she'll be a special guest on future episodes as well. I'm sure she will be. But yeah, definitely my favorite personal life moment. And I also just want to say, in terms of podcasting, my favorite moment is just Haven't people listened to this? Thank you for listening to this. Tell me what makes it listenable. Tell me why you enjoy hearing it. Is it the musicians? Is it me? Is it something else? Just let me know, because it's cool. It's really cool. And if you listen to one show, you listen to all of them, please let me know, because like I say, I have no association with music. Yes, I work as a doctor and I work as a psychiatrist, and mental health is really important to me. And maybe that's led to some musicians being interested in talking with me, but I'm not sure if it's just that. I think I'm just one of those, I just want to just talk to musicians and I just want to have a bit of fun. And that's the point. That's the point of podcasts, right? Or just media or entertainment. I think it's just important to just have a bit of fun and not take yourself too seriously, because these DC awards, very serious, very, very serious. But no, I'm thankful for everyone that listens. I'm thankful that I'm able to do this. I'm thankful for all the musicians that have said yes to coming on the show. I am thankful for those that decline. I must admit, it's the ones that, so look, this is the honest truth. I was meant to actually count it before. So obviously there's been so many musicians that have said yes. Incredible. There have been some that have said no. Some really good reasons. Some really good reasons. I mean, they're all reasons that are fair enough. The closest I got, I'm not going to name names, but the closest I got was someone who was going to come on, and then because the show doesn't do music anymore, they declined, which was a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. I think the hardest ones are the ones that obviously don't reply back, but obviously they are so busy. They probably just see it and just think it's spam or something, you know, especially if they don't know who I am. I think it's completely fair. But yeah, it's a journey, and thank you to everyone that's joined the journey and is supporting. And I know that we're going to get bigger and better in 2026, because it's only just started. It's only just started. And I just want to say, obviously, however 2025 has been for you, you know, you might have had incredible moments, good moments, bad moments, not so good moments. Just remember, 2026, another year to build on things. And if things haven't been as good as they were, if things hadn't been as good as you hoped for, it's another year. 2026 is the year. It happens. I'm furious about my knee and my running, and I've had to stop running for most of 2025 because of my knee. And I'm in the middle of shockwave treatment, which is where they put sound waves to the painful areas. And I'm really hoping that kickstarts things for 2026, because it's very frustrating, very, very frustrating. That's what I'm saying. We all have our personal goals and our personal setbacks. And it's just about, you know, without setbacks, we can't get bigger. We can't learn. We have to have setbacks in life to progress. And I'm sure you've heard that before, but it's really important to be aware of that. And that's why I've brought the full circle back, because at the end of the day, just remember, if I stop doing this, I'm just back to where I was before I was doing the full circle. Yes, I haven't gone backwards, because I was already there before. So it doesn't matter. But there's a possibility that by doing this, things can go forward. Things can go even more forward. And I think already there's been so much forwardness with the full circle coming back. So thank you so much to everyone that watches, listens, support me in any way. It's an absolute honor, an absolute privilege to do this for you. 2025 is almost over, and my catchphrase will stay on forever. Just remember this: stay safe. Don't eat beef.